you. Doing all right, man?
Doing great.
Good stuff, Bo.
Excited to be here.
Mr. Brad Page, Mr. Punisher Clutches himself, and Punisher Super Street Series. Man, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How about you?
Good stuff, man. Swanee, what's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, bud. Hanging in here. Got my main man Kipp beside me.
I declare,
He brought me some goodies.
I've been hearing about Kipper Corn for like the past 2 months.
I'm like, man, we got to get him in here. We got to get him in here.
No doubt.
Well, we got it, and we've got it here with us tonight. And one of you guys did your first podcast early on, and you guys were talking about some of the favorite racetracks that people go to, and I think somehow it came up who's got the greatest or best concession stand food or whatever at racetracks.
Yeah.
And I think my man Swanee talked about the white GMC pulling into Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
And the Kipper Corn connection, and we brought it here tonight.
We
got it live
tonight.
Here in Eastover, Uptown Eastover. We got it here tonight.
He's got the daggone Pearson's Mill Fire Department at Fayetteville hooked, son. There's nothing else on their mind other than Kipper's Corn in the infield, dude. I mean, there'd be cars piling up, all going on, chaos.
It's got so bad to where it gets to like Fatback can't come back.
I was going to say Fatback Matthews.
Fatback Matthews can't come back. You know what I mean? Yeah. But no, he loves it. And, it's always a real fun thing for me because it's something we started a couple of years ago. Wayne Gray Jr. and I just cooking out and eating together there at the racetrack. And the team RTH Racing, Team 07, David Roy and his crowd. We got Marty Hubbard in the house here tonight.
Marty?
KT Automotive Wins Automotive Products. That's my right-hand
got a
man.
plug for Marty.
That's my right-hand man. I don't go to racetrack without him, like American Express.
You know,
don't leave home without him, okay? You know what I mean? That's how it is.
My man, speaking it up over here, like we call it the voice of victory. I don't know if you've seen my post.
I did.
You know, but talking the voice of victory, you're Victory Lane, man. That's where you reside for the Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that's my house.
And this year you are the voice of Punisher Clutches.
Well,
I mean, let me I'm so back in the go-kart damn date. Let me see this. Let me look at this. I'm so in the go-kart Punisher Super Street Series.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Punisher Super Street Series. I guess whenever I'm available to be able to go to some of the races where those guys are racing, I'll step in and do some announcing for the series races. But I'm dedicated and committed to being at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway in Victory Lane with Dave Mitchell. I've been doing that since those guys have been there, and I love being in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane, man, because it's, you know, nobody's fussing, nobody's bitching about anything, you know.
Yeah, that's the most prestigious place to be.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, everybody's happy when they're there, you know.
Yeah.
They just want to race, and you know, you and I were talking earlier today. It's really cool that, you know, our racetrack, Fayetteville Motor Speedway, actually has a deal to where you've got drivers who win can come up and talk, because you may have a guy who wins 4 or 5 multiple races, you know, throughout a year, but there is a given Saturday night that there's one guy who, hey, that's the first time he's ever won a race. And it's a big deal for him, you know.
Yeah.
It gives him an opportunity to thank the people who help him get there on a weekly basis. It helps, you know, gives him an opportunity to talk about his sponsors and what have you. And man, it's a fun place to, I mean, to me, at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, I got the greatest job of all. I mean, it's fun. That's the best gig.
So how many times have you stood on Victory Lane and got the stink eye from somebody else who wished they'd have won?
I don't know. Probably more than once.
Yeah.
You know, probably, you know, a guy standing on the other end of the pad wanting to talk to the guy who won for, you know, how he got to the front. But not a lot, you know. But it is a cool place to be, and I love what I do in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane.
That's good stuff, man. I tell you what, you know, we got a great show lined up tonight, guys. Make sure you go ahead and share, like it. If you haven't liked Shine Runners Racing Radio, you're late. So go ahead and like the page. Go ahead and share and tell us where you're from. Your comments come up tonight so we can see. No matter if you are watching live stream from YouTube or AJ Bellinger Motorsports or Shine Runners Racing Radio, man, we got your comments to come up. And we're going to be combing those comments to try to ask the questions that you have tonight on the show. We are here at Studio 24, powered by AJ Bellinger Motorsports. And we are pushing this baby tonight by 8-horsepower Briggs & Stratton generator off the outside of East Mountain Speedway condemned concession stand. So it's nothing but good stuff.
So back to the whole unique style Victory Lane you got, man. That thing was built back whenever Jim Long was there, and we were there, and it was the whole purpose of that thing was to bring Victory Lane and the celebration of a win up front and personal with the fans, and because used to it was back away from everybody. It was kind of in the center of the racetrack. And
it was a lot lower.
A lot lower where you couldn't see it. And everybody was really worried about what was going on back there, and it was, all right, let's get to the next race, whatever. Well, now it's up front, center. Let's see what's going on. Let's see the guy get up on top of his car, celebrate, And, when I was there shooting Victory Lane or whatever, it was pretty cool to kind of walk over there and say, hey, look, dude, give me a little something when you get out. A lot of times it was some of the bigger guys, they kind of knew what to do, but you could kind of go over there and encourage the guy. You say, hey, look, man, give me a little something when you get out. Give me a little pump, yell at the crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was always cool to do it. Earlier in the night was better, or if it was a late night, and you just kind of heard things along. But it's pretty cool. You got a unique setting, and it's really cool to drive up there. And it's a lot of places don't have that, so I think it's pretty cool to see that.
Well, it's pretty cool to see that. But the thing about it is like you're saying, you got a guy who jumps out of a car, and you initially say, hey man, give me a little something, so I can take a picture, or whatever. And you get, as the announcer being down there, you get to experience a little bit of all kinds of different things from that driver. You've seen a guy.
I imagine emotion.
Exactly.
Is a good word for that. I know when Wyatt won his first race was actually at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, and hell, I cried from the tech shack, mainly because we passed, but from the tech shack all the way to Victory Lane. You know what I'm saying? Just the emotion was real. That night we were racing for William Fry, That was our whole thing. We're racing for William Fry. He passed away. And, dude, we were like the best fifth-place car there was out there. And it looked like somebody just picked it up and threw that thing to the front, and we won it. And so the emotions, how many times have you seen a grown man stand there and cry in Victory Lane?
Well, that's what I was about to get to, more than once, because you've got a guy who, like for you, to walk from a tech shed and know your son's driving up.
Yeah.
To know that as a father, to see your son, I mean, absolutely.
It's an amazing feeling.
It's got to be something that, you can never replace.
Yeah.
But to see a grown man do that, who's worked every single week, every night of the week to get that car, number one, just so I can make it to the racetrack. Yeah. Have I got enough money to get into the racetrack? Have I got tires to get to the racetrack? And then everything go right for him to have his first trip ever to Victory Lane. When you see a grown man, you can see a grown man come up, and give you a fist bump, and he hollers, and, maybe do a backflip off the car or whatever. But then you've got some guys who's just like a kid in a junior sprint car sometimes that can't even get a word out.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, the emotion of winning.
And what a lot of people don't realize, man, is a lot of these dirt drivers, they work all week. So they work all day. They go home, they work on the car all night. I mean, it's a very emotional sport. And, there's a lot of people that really – they go into a tizzy if they don't win, or you know what I'm saying, or something of that nature. But there's a whole lot of emotion that goes into this sport, more than what people really see. And you get the ending point of most of it on the good side at the Victory Lane.
Well, it's always fun, man, because, that's a big special moment, for, and really, I've seen the reverse of what you're talking about when you as a father – walking from the tech shed with tears flowing down your face, hey, man, my kid's going on the podium.
Yeah.
My kid's going to But what's really cool is to also see a deal to where you've got a grown man and you see a wife hand him his little boy or his little girl, and they stand together in Victory Lane. I will never forget it. Nut Up or Shut Up this past year, David Taylor did one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was kind of I had to let David Taylor know, hey, man, this is a rated PG show. And I came in, he comes up and I said, driver number 14 out of Irwin, North Carolina, he is the Gray Fox. It is David Taylor. David, you've been a long time since you've been here in Victory Lane, and tonight it's Nut Up or Shut Up. And he said, you GD right, we shut them all up. And I was like, whoa.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, his little grandson, they hand him and it's almost when that grandson got in his arms, and there he is sitting in Victory Lane.
Oh, dude, he melted.
It was like he couldn't say a word.
Yeah.
It was just like a total change. And, yes, Victory Lane is a great place to be, but it is full of emotion, and it's a very special place to me and the people who visit me there every Saturday night.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind, I think it was probably your first year there, maybe. I'm pretty sure you did the Big C deal when we were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Kemp and all them when we did the Big C Memorial, the first in flight 100 deal when we presented Big C or Kemp, the Lamb family or whatever with the memorial stuff like that. That was kind of a big deal, but that was the whole purpose of that, and everybody got to see that, and it was presented, and all the drivers took their photo there with the family and everything, and that was one of the things we're talking about. It was something that everybody got to see, and it was memorial. It was like everybody remembers that, and it was.
Well, there's been a couple of more things like that too. There have been several different moments in Victory Lane that have been really special to me. It's special to every driver who comes up there too, but also some things that take place in Victory Lane at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Annually, each year, we do the Wayne Gray Sr. Memorial, and, to get an opportunity to speak about Wayne Gray's dad, Mr. Wayne Sr., who was, a very, very, special guy to me, that was kind of like a bonus dad for me, in the early 90s growing up. Wayne Gray Jr. is, I met him through Kemp Lamb and Big C. And, when those guys started traveling every weekend and started going off big time, I couldn't go with those guys.
Yeah.
But, man, I had a love for racing, and so I was able to go with Mr. Wayne and Wayne Jr. and Tony. And, man, those guys became family, to me. And to be able to, from Wayne Gray to call me and say, hey, we got Dad's race coming up. It's my dad's memorial race, and there's nobody that I'd rather have in Victory Lane speak about my dad other than you.
That's good.
Talk about emotion, man. That's a special deal to me. I get emotional thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
And then to also have the first inaugural Big C Memorial at Fayetteville Motor Speedway this past year, for Kemp Lamb to say the same thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else talking about my dad but you.
Yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
that's special to me because that's what those guys meant to me and that's what those families mean to me. So when I say it's emotion every single time that the mic is live in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane, I mean what I'm telling you, man. It's a real deal. It is. You hit it on the head when you said the word emotion.
We kind of share a common field. I was an announcer for about 8 years. I did a lot with NMRA, National Mud Racers Association. I actually started out at Steve Core's tractor pool. And then I don't know if you remember Dynamite Dan Meshaw had Fayetteville Motor Speedway. I was out there for a few years and then went off into my mud racing thing. So we do share a common field, and I understand everything that you're saying as far as, just to see how much heart goes into these cars or mud racing trucks or whatever you're into racing-wise. It's amazing that when you do get that win, this was our night. This was it. Everybody else is going to stand over there and bitch and cry because they didn't win. But for the most part of it, that victory is 110, man. I love it.
I'll tell you another one, too, that was a memorable experience for me when, again, we hit the word emotion.
Yeah.
Talk about a grown man crying, tears come down his face and choke up and can't speak. I'm going to call him out and I'm going to roll him under the bus, who sits in this studio every week on Fouled Out. Chad Groves won Legend Race. It was last year.
Nut Up or Shut Up night.
Yeah, it might have been that night. I can't remember. But I remember
the most epic pass
ever.
Mic drop. 4. If I could take the mic off and drop that bitch right now,
I'd
like
do
it.
Hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Drop it like it's hot.
Because that was an epic pass.
When he comes off of turn 4, I saw his hand come out of the driver out of the window. I thought, man, there's going to be a party at Baywood tonight. There's going to be a party at Baywood tonight.
Yeah.
And when he came up there, and, man, he was so tickled, and, man, he was sweating, man. He deserved that win. I mean, he drove his butt off and was in the right place at the right time to win the race and to be there with his brother. And then his mom comes. Yeah. And then his mom comes up. And, and
Racing Granny, baby.
He
Racing Granny.
He takes Racing Granny. He wraps his arm around Racing Granny. And I start to talk to Chad. And it's like, the mic's still on, man. He ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
The guy can't hardly talk because it meant that much to him. And there's his brother, his mom, and him. And, a night I'll never forget.
But you know what? That night was a whole lot different because Chad won a bunch of enduro races. When you were there, he won a bunch of them. And, they seen, but that night was a whole lot different. It was like they accomplished more than any of those enduro races ever were. It was like, man, we did something.
Yeah. Have you ever took something home, like from Victory Lane, and like on the way home, you're just like, man, that one hit.
Yeah.
That one right there hit.
And that was it.
That's the race I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That one. That one hit. I'll tell you, too. And it happened to be in that same class twice. The night Chad Groves won, that was a really, really big deal because I'm going to tell you, that car that those guys have in that Legend Series, you've got the Ryan Schaefer, man. You got Sinoski. You've got all these other guys who are there. But I'm telling you, I'll put it up beside anybody. That's one of the fastest Legend race cars that there is at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Chad has just got to have more seat time and get a little bit more comfortable. The car is stupid fast. It's stupid fast. So he's had bad luck after bad luck. Been up at the front and get up, be going up to the front and spin out, man. It happens.
Yeah.
But he was in the right place at the right time, did exactly what he had to do to go. And he won the race. Like you said, it was like they accomplished so much more by getting that win on that stage at that level. Mm-hmm. And then another one that I remember in that same class, I might have said it to you one night, was standing up on top of Victory Lane or watching a race and saying, hey, if this guy ever gets a break and gets a win, it will not be his first time up here.
Yeah.
Out of Holden Beach, North Carolina. He drives for
you talking about
Jaden Boland is the guy.
Yeah.
Jaden Boland is the guy. Who owns his car?
316.
Yes, 316 Motorsports. Ryan Hauser.
Ridenhour. Willie.
Willie Ridenhour.
Let me tell you,
Willie's a great guy too.
Great guy.
They sponsored the Rockfish Junior Sprint Division this year.
But I'd always said, if this guy ever, if he ever catches a break, and he's going to be hard to
and
guard.
He is no stranger to winners. Victory Lane.
But on dirt now.
Yeah.
But on dirt. But on dirt. This was like his – but then he won. He won one night. And then the next week, man, he's back again.
And here's the thing about that kid. We're not going to have him long because I think he's got his eyes on the pavement deal, and that's where he's headed. Where he's going to be late model stock, he's going to be pointed in that.
So he was go-kart racing before he came to Legends.
Yeah, I watched him come up from red plate, green plate.
Yeah.
Okay. So
See, I never knew his background.
I did during
history.
clutches whenever they were in the go-kart.
okay.
Yeah.
So right there. Okay. So he's obviously been running go-karts and stuff. Not that it's lower or whatever, but he's obviously had some background in go-karts before he got in the legend car. But yeah, the kid. I mean, he's determined
an amazing
to do
wheel
something.
man.
But yeah, he's not going to be at this level long.
Yeah.
He's going to be. I mean, we're not going to have him long.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
he's a great young man, and he's a good interview too.
Yeah.
He's
when you
very well
talk to him,
he's got that. Okay, I'm marketable. I can talk. I can promote. Hey, I can promote that wrench on that wall right there. If you'll tell me,
He carries himself as a professional.
yeah,
he does. And see, another thing. Now let's stay on Jaden Bolin here for just a second, because number one, a great young man.
Yeah.
But see, my deal at Fayetteville Motor Speedway is, see, once I get down there, I mean, until the features start, man, I really don't have a whole lot, that's pressing for me, because, Bill pretty much does everything else, as far as, drivers meeting coming up at what time and doing the hot laps and all that kind of stuff.
So you're cooking the corn.
I'm cooking corn and doing wings and doing all that kind of stuff. But I have an opportunity to go up beyond turn one and go in the outside pits. And what's really cool is, for people who do kind of what we all do, it's one thing to know who's driving that number one car when hey, that's Willie Milliken right there in that MJ Price number one. It's another thing to be able to walk outside. Hey, who's that guy? Oh, that's Willie Milliken, or that's Sean Harrell. Or when you know who they are outside the car, so then you kind of build, them on both sides of the deal here. Mm-hmm. But when you start walking through Victory Lane and you're riding around a golf cart and you hear a driver, hey, Kip, come to see you tonight. I'm coming to see you tonight. I'm gonna be in Victory Lane tonight. I said, hey, but I'm going to be there. Well, 2 different times this year, Jaden Bolin, I would see him over at the check-in, and he always called me Mr. Kip. He would say, hey, Mr. Kip, tonight's my night. I'm back. Yeah. I'm going to see you in Victory Lane, and he would do it.
One thing, have you noticed, because you do talk to a lot of drivers, have you noticed a lot of younger kids who are in racing they're well-mannered?
Oh, very well. Yes, sir. Yeah, because I think they know, they've seen, there are so many kids. There's one sitting right back here that goes to the racetrack and watches people.
I just pray don't fall in my footsteps.
Like Willie Milliken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's his man.
And I'm just telling you right now, I can tell you right now, I talked to Willie the other day, and I was almost, asking him, are you absolutely crazy? He sent me a picture of his new driver suit. And the new driver suit, I don't want to let the cat out the bag. I'm just going to say just one little thing about his driver suit. Down on the front leg, it's either the right or left, from the knee down, it's white. And I'm thinking, why in the world would you have white below the knees on your driver's suit? Because I can tell you guys this. When it comes to racing and you see a driver at a racetrack, there are not many drivers that work as hard.
Oh, yeah.
From the time they step
He's
out
under
of
the
their
car,
truck,
in the
coming
car,
to work.
yeah.
And but the thing about it is you've got kids, younger kids who, like you say, have a respect for the sport, because they see a Willie Milliken and they see a Sean Harrell, and they see people like, AJ busts his butt every single time he's at the racetrack. They see what it takes to get where they want to be.
Yeah.
When it becomes their time.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie Milliken is one. He and his wife, Crystal, they have a fan base that is just phenomenal, unbelievable. And they do so much stuff, man, for people that a lot of people don't know about.
They come and pick Wyatt up one day. I don't know if you saw the video.
I saw the video.
And they come pick Wyatt up, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Believe me, even on the little cars we got, we're working the whole time we're there. And then track conditions. So we got to change this. And so when you think about a late model like he's got, there's 3 times the work than there is the little junior sprint we got. But he took time, put White in the car, let him turn the wheels to the right, let him warm the car up, the whole 9 yards. And just, I've seen him go from full-blown cussing like a sailor to a kid walk up, and Willie just, whoosh, you know what I mean? And
well, they do that. And it's
hug them, take a picture with them, and it means a lot in this sport.
Well, I'll tell you this. They do that for a kid of that age. But it's not cut off just to kids his age.
Yeah.
I've got a son that's 17 years old. I've got a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old that are willy-nilly crazy, man.
Yeah.
And Christmas Eve this year, this past Christmas, I live in Bass, North Carolina. And as you know, Willie lives in Roanoke Rapids.
Yeah.
Well, they were leaving. Willie and Crystal were coming to, I guess, Regalwood. I guess they're going to Crystal's mom and dad's or whatever for Christmas. Well, they can't get there except for going down I-95 and coming through Dunn, which is where my dad lives. Well, Willie was going to get some stuff at Barry Wright Race Cars the week before, and Willie and I have conversation. Willie and I have several conversations a week. You know, we're real good friends. And I asked him, I said, hey, if you're there and they got any Barry Wright Race Car, hooded sweatshirts, I know my boys would like to have one for Christmas, if you don't mind, pick them up. Well, he did. And not only did he pick them up, our schedules didn't link up together to where I could meet him in Dunn to pick up those sweatshirts. So he goes to my dad's house and just drops them off. And you know what? Hey, listen, man, I need to get with you. I need to get with you so I can pay you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They're part of the team.
Yeah.
They love Willie Milliken Racing. And I was like, they don't have to do stuff like that. And see, my kids are not into racing in the aspect of where they're ever going to drive a race car, but they love the sport so much that that there's a total different level of respect elsewhere from a young kid that's a driver by seeing how those drivers treat, because it's just a big deal. And that's one of the great things about racing, local dirt track deal like what we have here.
Yeah.
I have met so many people doing this with what I do in racing with series deals at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And before, when I met Wayne Gray Jr. way back in the 90s, as I was talking about earlier, I mean, for 15 years, 32 weekends out of the year, I was playing travel softball all over this country. That's all I did. And I met a lot of great people. But I've said it to Marty, riding up and down the road from Halifax to Lakeview to wherever it is we go, to Charlotte or 411, Gaffney, wherever. I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people in my life. And some of the greatest people, down-to-earth people that would give you the shirt off their back, that would have your back no matter what. I met those people at a dirt racetrack.
Not to toot my horn about me being great or anything, but in 2006 when I went to Chatley Boat Marine and bought my boat from you, did you think we'd be sitting across from each other talking racing today?
Who knew it?
Huh?
Who would ever know?
Who knew that you are now my idol?
Okay.
K-I to the double P.
Okay.
I'm going to say I got to get me a K-I to the double P T-shirt.
Well, we can. Swanee can make them.
And I want to go. I want to go off on what you were saying about younger kids growing in the sport and you meeting people and them growing. I've heard nothing about Kippers Corn, or nothing but good things about Kippers Corn, dude. We got to break into that. And if you would, why Kip, you're getting into that, I want to go into something. I was fortunate enough to be a part of a family on Lower Dunn Road for a long time. And, God, down there, Uncle Frank and Ricky Collins and they called him Dick, Ronald, and Miss Ruby, and the whole nine, which was Joseph's family. And then Joseph was born, obviously. I think I remember, like, your third or fourth birthday, I come in dressed as a fireman or some shit like that. It was crazy. But I've watched Joseph grow up through racing. And I know his mother's passion of the sport. And then and I want to say something, man. I had Eddie Pollard sent me a message today, and he was like, whatever you do tonight on the show, make sure that you congratulate Swanee as the Steel Block Bandits race director.
Absolutely.
And, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love you to death, man. I do. And I'm not saying that because we're partners in Shine Runners or we've been friends forever, but I've watched you grow up in the sport. And to grow from loving racing over at Uncle Frank's with Jonathan and hopping in the truck with Ricky to go to the race on, the weekends to now you're race directing. That's a big step, man. And I'm so proud of you, dude. I really am. I think I'm going to drink a beer to the thought of it.
Yeah, I'm ready for one. But it's been a journey. I never thought of being a fan basically, and just bullshitting around the track or whatever turn into anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I dabble in. I've been pretty much everything but prepping a racetrack, dude.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in doing that shit. But
Leave that to Terry Odom.
yeah, I you know, that's something I don't think I'll ever mess with. You know, that's art. That's but you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a challenge. I did it a couple times last year. It's just building a resume, dude. You know, it's always something new. I enjoy it, traveling up and down the road with the Bandits, and any way I can help any series, pretty much. I'm any off weekend or whenever I'm available, call me up. I'll
Yeah.
whatever I can do. If I can ride around and yell at your drivers, get in line or whatever. If I can push cars or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm available. Or
He drive a mean pack car too.
I
Huh.
drive
You
a
can drive
mean pack car.
Me and your brother got in the worst riding pack car ever. It was the greatest time I've ever had in my life, honestly, other than my wedding. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there for promotion purposes. But
it was so last year when Miss Dina died, I kind of got thrown at the fire or whatever, and we were talking about canceling that race. We were supposed to go to Livonia, Georgia, or whatever, and Jim I didn't feel like he could go to the race or whatever, and I was like, man, you know what, I can race direct, I can do it, so I was like, let's go do this, and so I got kind of thrown at the fire at Sumter, and
Sumter ain't no easy track to do something like that at either.
no, and it was just, I was like, let's go down there and let's try it for better or worse. If all hell breaks loose, then by God, it's the first and last time I'll ever do it. By God. But I did. But so it just kind of stuck, and I think he was kind of thinking about letting me try it next year anyway.
yeah,
So I was just like, you know what, let's just take it on. And my first test is Halifax of all places.
The bull ring.
tight bull ring, and
Yeah.
Clip.
that's gonna be a fun weekend. That's I'm looking forward to it. We're up there with Punisher, and
I was going to say you guys are going to be up there with Punisher, and we're
That's gonna
fixing to
be-
tap into that.
that's gonna be dude. That
What do you think?
you're killing me, Smalls. Anyway,
You play ball like a girl.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, dude, it's gonna be us, Punisher, some modifieds. I mean, it's that's gonna be my first real test of the year.
And we're going
And a special race too, man.
We had a
First
Mark Batten
Mark
Memorial.
Batten
Yeah.
Memorial. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a big deal,
That-
man.
Mark-
First annual.
Yeah, the first
That's gonna be a
annual.
big deal.
That's I think for Michael Wells sticking his neck out for that, dude. That's gonna be a huge race for him because that's a big dash. 10 grand for us, and I think 3 for y'all. No, 3 for the modifieds and what?
Modifieds. One for us.
One
as
for
of
y'all.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and 3 for the modifieds, and I think 2 for something else or something like that. But
And man, while Kip is getting his corn ready to go, want to introduce, as we've done before, Mr. Brad Page in the house tonight. Brad, how you doing, bro?
Doing good.
Man, I tell you, pull your mic up to you just a touch there, Captain.
yeah, let's dive into that.
We're gonna get some of that corn.
We present to you Kippers corn.
This is gonna be awesome, man. Got this corn here.
So let's talk about the Punisher series. What you guys got going on this year? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a series that me and my partner Ryan
Okay.
decided to start for this season after we talked to a few drivers that had some concerns about, the 3 links and the leaf spring cars running together, and that really didn't think the two that needed to run together.
Okay.
But before I decided to do this, I was going to take over costs.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to do away with the 3 links, but I was going to give the leaf springs something like the half leaf setup or something similar to that to bring everything closer together. But I don't think that's the way they wanted it to go. So I decided to do this instead.
I got you. So it was kind of. Was this kind of like a mid-year kind of thing? Because I know they were talking about debating on changing it or whatever. So were you kind of wanting to start your own deal, or were you ever wanting to start your own series? Not saying you want to take over or whatever.
No,
but were
actually,
you ever wanting to start a series? Like, was that something you kind of thought about ever doing? Was starting a series? 'Cause I know-
No, that was the furthest thing from my
Furthest
mind.
thing, okay.
I
Yeah,
promise.
because it's.
It's something. I mean, it's
I got you.
and you work a full-time job,
I understand.
do clutches at night in the shop,
Yep.
got a family with small children. It gets tough sometimes. That's why, I couldn't even think about doing what I'm doing. What if it weren't for Ryan and his wife and my wife and people that support me like Kipp
Yep.
and Marty, you know, and the drivers is really what surprised me.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I got drivers that are putting sponsor money up and adding money to the pole award, just like Danny Yarborough. You know, him and his business is a down south home improvements.
Yep.
He's gave $1,000 to the points fund this year for his own class that he's racing in.
Nice.
That's
and,
good.
And it's just a support, you know, like Michael Wells over there at Halifax. I approached him, you know, because he's the only one that really had a super street class on a Saturday night basis left.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He was the only one left on the Leaf Springs only, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else had went to basically the mix.
Well, County Line tried it, and they ended up having to do away with the class because car count fell off.
Right. I
And
mean,
I've done a lot because let me tell you, I am stupid when it comes to Super Street. I'm a sprint car man, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not. I've done research. I've done a lot of reading and stuff like that before tonight, so that way I didn't sound too much like an idiot asking questions. But I've seen where 3-link and all is down towards the Georgia area and Florida. In Super Street, they have a lot of those down there. Yep. North Carolina is more a leaf spring thing. So is 3-link new, or is it just
no 3-link? It's
I don't
like the late model.
Enlighten me, because I'm a sprint car man.
Well, it's just like in the 80s and stuff like that. Late model was based on a leaf spring car.
Mm-hmm.
And as it progressed, they've come up with new technology. It went to the other leaf combinations like the mono leaf, the half leaf.
Yeah.
Then you got into your 3-link, and then you go to where you are now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if leafs were really where they could compete with a bar car in any way or fashion, you know, the late models would have never really got away from it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of people that feel the same way, and there's people that don't feel that way.
Yeah.
But with the situation we were in with the super streets, you know, I watched it, and it got where, you know, they were struggling to get 10 cars to the track. Mm-hmm. And what it was people got tired of running against what they felt like was a superior setup.
Right.
And the majority of the class was leaf spring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if 75% of the class would have been 3-links, I'd have said, okay, we need to go all 3-link. Then the leaf spring boys change over.
Yeah.
But when you only got 4 major cars that run with you that are 3-link, it's easier for them to change back over to leaf spring than it is for 15 cars to go spend $3,000 to $4,000 on having a 3-link setup put up under the car. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was, at the beginning, what I was wanting to do, the half leaf setup, which is basically the exact same thing as a 3-link, except you really don't have as much adjustment.
Right.
But that was something that I don't think a lot of people wanted to see happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then I started my series, or I put the word out there I was going to do it. And at that time, JD had said, you know, he was going to step away. He wasn't going to run it anymore. Well, he had somebody in mind to take it over. Mm-hmm. Well, they made the announcement at County Line, one of the last races at County Line, that they weren't going to run. They weren't going to do it either because they only had 4 cars committed to run with them. You know, so I said, well, okay, I'll do what I'm going to do. Maybe it'll save everything. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's like anything. Everybody's got their own opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't down nobody for their opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you think the way you think, I think the way I think. We'll agree to disagree, and we'll move on.
Yep.
Because I got a lot of friends, you know, like in particular, like BNG and them, that, you know, I've always gone to the trailer during the night and talked to him and his wife, and my children go down there.
Well, they're kind of from down your area, ain't they?
Yeah, they're from down there around Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, okay.
And, I mean, my children would go down there and get candy from his wife and flags and stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing. It wasn't anything personal, and it wasn't a cheap shot at anybody, no matter, you know, what people want to think. It was nothing personal.
Yeah.
It was what I felt.
Just different views.
Different views.
Yeah, it was just what I felt in my heart was the best thing to do, and I felt like if I didn't do something, it was going to go away.
Gotcha, understand.
Because I've been in it since the mid-'80s. I can remember when a Super Street car had a stock body, you couldn't even run the lowering block. You couldn't do none of that, and it's gone higher and higher and higher. And if we keep getting it further and further and further out, you're just going to have another junior late model class.
Well, let me ask you a question, and this has been a question that's came up a bunch over the years. So, do you feel that the price of technology has gotten racing out of hand, where the cars are running just about the same lap times as they were? I mean, they might be running a little bit faster, but not as fast as they were running back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But the price that the guys are spending on cars nowadays is, I mean, it's crazy.
We used to run.
That's where I'm coming from with the technology. What you're saying?
We used to run asphalt takeoff tires. We had to groove for ourselves. We run out in the junkyard. We go get leaf springs out of the junkyard, and I'd shake for 2 days because my
dude, I remember
and I'd be trying to hold one in while he was beating on it.
Living down there on Lower Dunn Road, Gerald Bishop's junkyard. So we crawled across many a car getting spare tires and rims to go to the racetrack.
The thing that's really hurting racing right now is all the classes have gotten so far out of control. You do not have a beginner's class.
Oh yeah,
the front wheel drive is totally out of control.
Hell, junior sprints ain't even a beginner's class. I got over $10,000 in White's car.
You can't. I mean, it's just. And if somebody doesn't stop, I mean, just stand up and say, "Hey, look, I understand that it's like anything else. You got progress, you got technology, but at a certain point, you got to put a stop to it, or it's going to be so far out of hand that nobody can afford to do it.
Yeah,
it's just like go-karts. Everybody's paying tire men to do their tires now, and like down where we're from, around this area, a Saturday night race is like a $5,000 to win race. I mean, I
think the day of Saturday night racing is done. Am I wrong, Swanee?
No,
by saying that
you're pretty much dead on. The days of Saturday nights is just about. I'd say
you near about got to have a series to race.
I'd say within about.
Or you're going to find a car on a jack stand. That's just the way it is.
Your Saturday nights every week is done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your tracks. You're going to have to go to running big shows and cutting the classes. Mm-hmm. Them showing up every night and running 7 classes. Them days are over with, dude. Especially like around here, man. There's other stuff to do. Like if the weather's not just right. I mean, because so like back in the 90s or whatever, if it was like just a little bit of rain, or, if it was calling for like 56 chance rain, oh hell yeah, we're still gonna go to the racetrack. But like nowadays, oh hell, dude, we're gonna go to the movies, and we're gonna go to the bar tonight, or
I'm gonna be honest with you,
or Top Golf, yeah, we're gonna go to Raleigh and go to we're gonna go here. We're not gonna go to that racetrack, sit outside.
Some of the best nights of my life have been when the race rained out. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
Sitting in the truck laughing.
Lord have mercy, son. We had about 42 head in the trailer one night down at Feldman Motor Speedway, and them boys said we ain't canceling. I mean, you could have caught grouper out of turn 1, and Dave and them got out there on the track and fixed it, and we were back to racing in less than an hour or so, and got it in that night. I mean, it was a good time, but I have had a lot of fun when the race rained out. I ain't lying.
Well,
you had a bunch of groupies in the truck.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, just racing is. I mean, you never really had to worry about saying street stock. You never had to worry about the chassis builders being involved in that. Yeah. Everybody built the cars in their backyard.
Yeah.
Now you got. Say if you're going to go buy a top-notch street stock car, if you get one race ready without a seat from one particular company that I know of, with a crate motor in it, Burt transmission, $40,000.
Man, you in the go-kart realm with things, and I'm going to tell you, go-kart is paying a lot of money. I think go-kart racing is paying more money than car racing is paying.
But I think where go-kart racing is messing up, yes, they're paying these big $5,000 to win, $10,000 to win races, but they're not paying back.
Yeah.
But they feel like they can't bring any of the big dogs in unless they put all the money up front. But the guys just got to try to get to the track every week, and, I mean, they just get discouraged.
Well, Terry did a thing, and I don't want to step off of the Punisher Super Street Series, but while we're talking racing, Terry did a thing with Backyard Series.
I love that.
And, there was a lot of people coming in there in the back of pickup trucks.
Oh, the first race.
There was a dude rented a U-Haul to get his go-kart there to race at Triple T.
I was there at the very first
that was amazing.
One we ever did. And I raced in it because, whenever I was racing go-karts, me and Terry were always real tight. Just like we are now, he's actually went and got a Super Street car to run in our series.
Yeah.
You know, we talked, and I got looking around, and I said, Terry, I said, is this the Chili Bowl or the first backyard series race?
Yeah.
He said, Brad, we got more entries for this than we did for the Chili Bowl last year.
Good gracious, man.
But
That's
that'll
good stuff.
show you if you do and try to work your tail off for the everyday man like that.
Yeah.
He'll support you. It's just like the series deal. I've heard people say, well, it don't matter what setup you're on, the top five's going to be the top five. I said, okay, let me put it to you this way. Say you're running 6th, 7th place. But you know all the guys in front of you are on the same setup you're on. You're going to go home and feel like if you can work a little bit harder, you can accomplish it and get to the front. But if, say, the top five were all 3 links and you're on loose springs, now I'm going to have to go spend some money.
Right.
I'm going to have to go change my car. And the everyday man, he doesn't have access to the technology, to the people that know the technology, and the money to actually change all that over and pay somebody to set their car up, go to the track with them, help them, and beat the bushes with them. They can't do it. They're going to get discouraged, and it's going to happen again. What's happened in the past, they're going to be sitting in the shop on jack stands.
Right.
So, like right now, what's one thing that you're kind of battling right now as far as technology? What's guys saying, oh, Brad, we need to do this, and this? Like, what's...
Well, racers are being racers. They always want more.
They're the worst enemy.
They're their own worst enemy.
So what's... I can say, is it chassis that they're wanting to go? Is it shocks that they're saying, oh, we need this, and this, we need... Or is it suspension parts? Or
Biggest thing that I see with this class, once we got our rules set down with the chassis.
Yep.
Chassis rules is pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
Your shock rules is pretty much, claimer rule.
Right.
You know what you can and can't run. If you get caught with it, you're gone. The big thing is, and there's not a lot you can do about it because it's been done for so long already,
Right.
is the motor.
I got you.
I mean, you got some guys that's going out there spending $20,000 in a super street motor.
Right.
And that's just going to run, that's just like me and my daddy. We race.
Right.
We got maybe $6,000-$7,000 in a motor. But and we knew we couldn't compete with that. And we didn't want to. I mean, that's just something we were not prepared to do. We're not going to go out there and chase money. We're going to go have a good time.
Right.
An old man, he's getting ready to retire, and he deserves it. He's done so much for me and my family. It's something that he deserves. So, I mean, and that's why I put so much work into the chassis on that car, and the chassis. Now he says anybody could drive that car. We just don't have the motor.
And if he's comfortable, then that's all,
Exactly.
If he's having a good time, he's comfortable, and he's not killing himself, and he's not waking up Sunday morning saying, damn, I can't do this.
He does
no
pretty good for a 63-year-old man.
But yeah, if he's not waking up Sunday morning saying, damn, I can't do this no more, then you're doing pretty good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
But, so I guess, so just kind of looking at your schedule here, one date that kind of stands out there, to me,
311.
is 311 Speedway. What took you to 311? I like the racetrack. It's on our schedule as well.
I wanted to do something different.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to be rough on as far as me and Ryan, because there's the only races that aren't on this schedule. I mean, the only races on this schedule that's remotely close to us is Lakeview.
Okay.
Every other time that we hit the road, we're traveling 3 hours one way.
Okay.
So I mean, but I knew.
Now, when you say we, you're talking about you personally.
Yeah.
From where you live.
Yeah, from where I live.
That's not 3 hours driving from every driver.
No.
You're talking
That's just for me and Ryan.
Right.
And is that something I really want to do? No. I don't want to have to run that far down the road and then back in the same night. But my base is up in North Carolina.
But I think most of your guys, it's actually pretty good for them. I think Ron, because it's for us, it ain't but like an hour and a half, 2 hours, if that, to 311. It ain't bad. Ron, I mean, it ain't far for him.
What, 2 hours and 45 minutes, Ryan?
Oh, hell, okay, so then it's less for us then, stuff like that. So, I mean.
It's the same as me going to Halifax.
And then, good Lord, that's a haul for us. I mean, it feels like a haul, but it's really not that bad. So
It's not that bad when you got that long stretch of 95.
yeah. So, it's, a lot, like you said, your base is up here, so, it's really not that bad. But that date stood out to me. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
And I've always wanted to run a half mile.
Dude,
That's a big one.
It's a big one. And
It's a big one.
it's if you go there and
Tie him up and throw him over your shoulder, boys. Let's go.
if it's hooked up, if Folks got it hooked up, it's gonna be ready. it was hooked up when we went there that night.
Yeah, we got some. Right now, we got 11 races. We got 4 at Lakeview, 6 at Halifax, and we got the one at 311. We're waiting to hear back from Friendship. Also wanting to go there. Like Kipp and Marty said, they went there that one time. They called me the next day. Brad, we got to go. We got to go. We got to go.
Well, now since they've changed it since they've been.
Yeah.
So they've took the dirt up.
Oh,
They've took the asphalt out from underneath it, and they've put the dirt back, from my understanding. So, and so now that's going to change it all together there. And that's always been the issue is the asphalt was underneath it, the dirt wouldn't settle right with the water and all that. So that's a plus. And no telling what it's going to do.
It's harder for it to hold moisture like that.
So one thing about that racetrack, another aspect of it, before they did the changes as what you're talking about, and to see what that track will go to now, as you take dirt up, you pull the asphalt up, you put the dirt back down. That remains to be seen how that's going to be. But the cool thing about that is,
how's it going to stay packed?
Well, but that track before this, when I was so turned on by that racetrack, it is a racy racetrack.
And the facilities.
The facility is a fan-friendly racetrack, too. I mean, it's got a place, where you've got your grandstands, you got a place you can park close to the fence, and then there's another hill up on the back. You can park up there. And it's almost like a baby Charlotte almost a little bit.
It's fan-friendly as far as the first-time fan. You back your tailgate up, and you can hang out in the back of your truck and see it's over. It's got a spotter stand you can hang out on, so
it's a cool place.
It's neat. So that would be a good one for you guys. Once again, it is another probably 30 minutes, 45
on the other
minutes
side of 311, right?
But it here's the thing: it would be like, okay, that's pretty cool. It would say, hey, look, these guys are stretching them out. Just advice: don't stretch them too far, but ease them out little by little.
Well, that's why we've left a lot of dates. We've tried to work it where if we end up getting races with Fayetteville or County Line, which I feel like we eventually will. Because I've talked to County Line and Fayetteville and all, they're going to be watching real close as far as car count and things of that nature. And I knew we were going to have to prove ourselves. JD, he's established, and he's earned what he's got. So I knew we were going to have to be kind of, show up and show out, and then say, hey, this is something I want at my track. And that's going to be all up to the drivers. Me and Ryan and Kipp and Marty and all of us, we can't do but so much. We can push and push and push and make it where y'all guys want to come run with us. But at the end of the day, it's them. They're what makes the show. And that's another reason why, I dropped. Everybody asks, well, why'd you drop from $850 to $800, and JD's paying $850 to win? Well, from 10th on back, start is now $125 instead of $100. $60 entry fee, you get your money back plus.
It does drop down. It helps the racetracks.
And I moved it further back, and I kind of wanted to do that without, really adding money to the already purse. I tried to just move it around a little bit.
It helps the bottom line as far
and that's
as
the thing.
Back gate or whatever.
It's not the top 5 that makes a series.
I was going to say
it's the man from 5th on back.
This might be just my opinion, but whenever you give a little to I don't want to just say the fielder, but somebody who hasn't had the best of luck, you know what I mean? It brings them back, and that thing, you're just as supportive to the man who's winning as you are the guy who's in 8th place, because hey, we appreciate you being here. We want to help you too, because the thing about, not giving a participation ribbon, because I'm not into that at all. But the whole thing of, we're taking care of all of our people. That means a lot. And then they stick with you because they see you're taking care of them, and that makes a huge difference.
You're going to treat them all the same.
Yeah.
Whether I like you or not, it don't matter. It's just like when we were at Lakeview, I was calling a race for JD. I was trying to get the experience at calling a race. Well, they had an incident down in 3 and 4, and the old man spun. And he barely touched the car. So I said, all right, 90, 42, I can't remember the other car, to the rear. Well, me and Daddy know the announcer at Lakeview. I've known him ever since I was little, sitting in the stands with him. He leans back in the chair and goes, you sending the old man to the rear? I said, hell yeah, I'm sending him to the rear. He made contact. He said, ooh, that's some cold shit. I don't want to be in them pits when you get back down there. Which, I mean, it
But
worked
being
out bad.
fair
I mean,
means a lot.
it's fair.
Oh, yeah.
I've shook hands with Gary Jacobson, and I'm going to tell you what, Gary Jacobson's a fine man. But he's DQ'd me more, you know what I'm saying? But I respect him because he called it right. And I know, I mean, he's respected. He hangs out with a lot of folks that we race with, and he'll DQ them too. And he's done it. And that's what makes a good tech man or a good, you know, I mean, a good director or whatever. You know, hey, man, the rules are the rules. If it says you can only roll 5 and you roll 6, bro, ain't nothing I can do about it. And
Numbers
that's
don't lie.
that bill, because there's not one piece of safety equipment that can save your reputation.
No.
I don't care. You write that down,
Your
son.
name
Tell
will
them
follow
Rooster
you
said it.
everywhere. Your name will follow you everywhere.
It will. It will. Your reputation, there's nothing that can save it. You act like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's the way it goes. You know?
It was just like with the points this year. You know, we're not making it mandatory you have to run so many races. Actually, what we're doing this year is I'm taking a page from the go-karts. I'm giving them a drop. Everybody's least highest finish or the lowest finish of the season will be dropped at the end of the season. I mean, that's just going to help somebody. Say you're trying to get to the track, you blow an axle out on the trailer, or you got a funeral to be at or a wedding to be at, and you're going to miss a race.
Yeah.
Well, that 0 under the points will be your drop. That'll make it, you know, it's just, things happen. You know, it's just my way of saying, you know, I understand one weekend money might be tight, you might not be able to do it, but you're really committed to running these points. All right, here's your weekend. Take you a break, and then be back with me the next time.
Definitely. And by the way, you have got the straight up from the North Carolina Nightmare. He said, Dad, you ready? You got another piece of corn over there? I can
I
get
got it.
That
I
man
got it.
has got, I mean, he's a Kip fan too, bro.
Well, there's
Can we get Kip shirts made?
Oh,
There's
look,
also
I mean,
an extra bonus
I'm sorry.
that you don't know anything about.
Sorry.
What?
This is another thing that is really a huge hit.
Yeah.
In the
I'm going to have to get in that
He
here in
done
a
broke
minute.
out the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got wings too. So
Why? He's got wings,
Marty
huh?
can vouch for that, and a lot of other people can do that.
Tell
too.
him, hey, about 6 wings, we'll put a Chat Lee sticker on the car. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I got 7. Put it on both
yeah,
sides.
yeah. I
Hey,
mean,
let me
we race for cheap, bro.
I hear you. Let me touch on something here. Let's go back into this Super Street deal just for a couple of minutes, because there's some things that I wanna say just to clear the air here just a little bit. You know, there's no animosity or anything. You know, Carolina Outlaw Super Streets and Punisher Super Street Series. You made a comment a while ago. It's almost like you have to have a series in order to be able to run. If without that, you got a bunch of cars sitting on jack stands.
Yeah.
Bingo. You said it right. I talked to you earlier today, and, about this same deal. And, hats off to J.D. Gunther, who last year stepped into a role.
Oh, definitely.
Okay? He stepped into a role for a class that was dying. It wasn't dying. It was dead.
Yeah.
It was dead. It was gone. Everybody took them off the schedule. So without a guy like him who steps up and does the absolute best he can, my hat's off to J.D. Gunther.
Oh,
Man.
yeah,
He gave these guys a place to race and an opportunity to race. Without him or without somebody else who chose to step into his position, you got a bunch of guys who have cars, number one, on jack stands, and they can't sell them to anybody because who's going to buy them if nobody's running them? Right. So the guy, I commend him for that. J.D. did also another thing for me that I thought was really cool. We got to know each other with me, announcing in Victory Lane, and he gave me an opportunity. Things didn't work out with his announcer guy, and said, "Hey, you got your name on David Royal's car, RTH Racing with Marty, the 07 crowd. You gonna if you are available and can, how about would you be my announcer, man?" To me, I thought, hey, man, that's pretty cool, man. Be the official voice of the Carolina Outlaw Super Streets. I thought it was really fun,
Yeah.
And so we did that, and JD and I, we worked together hand in hand, and there are some things that he and I agreed on, and we disagreed sometimes. But we can agree to disagree and still be cordial to one another.
That's life in general.
Yeah, that's life in general. But so really,
I do that with my wife on a daily.
But the deal with that, just to clear the air, it's not. I didn't jump ship from there because, number one, if anybody's got any sense at all, I mean, my business name, Chatley Boat Marine, is on the 07 of David Royal. Exactly. David Royal is a leaf spring car who's obviously going to run in this series. So I'm going to help with him just like I did with JD to help get it off the ground. That's what I did with JD. I don't have a problem with JD Gunther. JD Gunther was very good to me, and we worked together. I mean, he allowed me to do something that I'd wanted to do and actually put me in a position, man, to do some special things. Yeah. One special thing, when you talk about emotion, Victory Lane, that's one thing. But because of that relationship that was built through the Carolina Outlaw Super Streets, man, when I got asked to speak at Michael Freeman's funeral on behalf of Carolina Outlaw Super Streets, that's Victory Lane on another level, man. You know what I'm saying? The guy goes out, the last time he sits in a race car, he goes out a winner. He won the race, dude. I mean, it was a special moment. And I wish JD and the whole crowd, I wish them, they're great guys. Benji Thompson, thank the world of all those guys. But, we're just going to redirect kind of what we've got going, and I'm going to help Brad with doing Facebook stuff and, and announce when I can.
I'm not the one posting that stuff on Facebook. I can't talk like that.
Come on now. I think you got it in you.
He does.
He's not giving himself the credit he deserves, man.
I wouldn't shit you.
Oh, so Brad's not the PR guy, huh?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, come on now.
No.
I think I don't know. He may be. He may be. But anyway, just I wanted to go back and say that, because that was one thing that there's some things that there's some things I might do that you don't like.
But there's some things in life that we all do. You know what I'm saying? And we can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
And taking something from each other and growing and building better. Hell, working together.
Yeah. It's growing.
You're gonna get a lot farther by working together than working apart from each other.
We're grown men. We're not.
And that's the way it works. You know what I'm saying? And
whenever you butt heads, like nobody wins.
See, the thing about it is we're a radio show of promoting and growing, and we're behind everybody. You know what I mean? I hope the best for everybody. I hope everything works out, and I think there's going to be a lot of success and growth through. There'll be some phone calls of, hey man, what should we do here? And then everybody can help everybody out, and you end up growing in the long run, and that's the major thing.
That's what I'm really excited about the point series. At the end of the season, right now we've got, like, for first place in the points with the series is $1,500 in cash, plus a custom painted bell helmet from Explicit Design. Mm-hmm. Dustin Pleasanton,
I've seen a lot of your posts on there.
He did my helmet, that I race go-karts with.
I was Facebook stalking the hell out of y'all this week, just so you know.
Second place is $1,000 plus a custom racing suit from Velocity. Third place, $750 plus a custom racing suit from Velocity. Fourth, $500 plus a racing suit. Fifth is $250 plus a racing suit, and then sixth jumps back up to $450.
My man was a go-kart guy.
$450, $400, $375, $350, and 10th gets $325.
Man.
And then you're going to have Bobby Jackson is going to be helping us with the Rookie of the Year, and I'm kind of wanting to do something real different and special with that. So I haven't quite figured out what I want to do. I'm thinking about maybe something like a ring or...
I got your hook up on the ring, man.
Championship ring will be hot.
Championship rings are awesome.
Championship ring, something he can
we
sport.
We do a lot of different stuff. And
we take that with him anywhere. He can't take that trophy.
We were talking on a back show. I was fortunate enough to be called and talk about emotions, man. Crystal Milligan called me and said, hey, my daddy won in 84 or 85, won a clock. Can I send you some pictures? Can you build it? There's a lot of things I can do, but clock making was not one of them. But she sent me the opportunity to build this clock for the Edward Memorial Race at Lakeview. And just so happened, Willie was the one that won it that night. But I built that clock to spec.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me and Wyatt built that clock.
I did not know that.
I have to give props to AJ because I sent AJ about 40 pictures of the Edwards family. He put it in a collage for the center of the clock, and we were able to build that. Now, when you take home a sword for the Excalibur or a crown from the King of the Clay or I did a race called the Duel one time, and I had a pistol. It cost me $14 for this replica pistol, and I built it, and Grayson Dearson, actually, he won that. And, man, I'm going to tell you what, those trophies, it's nice to have that crazy 4-post 7-footer, but when you get them crazy trophies or a racing suit or something of that nature, man, it means a lot because you can show that baby off. You know what I'm saying?
So we're looking like, I don't know if anybody knows anybody that does it, but we're looking, you know how Tulsa does the drillers for the Tulsa shootout?
Oh, yeah.
We're looking banditos.
I so called it an
or
oiler.
bandits.
the other
We're looking
day.
like Mexican. We're looking Mexican bandits about
Oh,
that tall.
About like
My wife's Mexican. We can probably get you
Well,
some
she
shit
needs
like
to
that.
find- I
Remember
mean,
the trophy from the Fat Daddy?
Yeah.
The Fat Daddy.
Oh,
trophy?
yeah, yeah.
The big sumo wrestler on
Yeah.
top.
I want to win these
The go kart.
These ones.
place.
These
Yeah.
one.
I want
Yeah.
to win these ones.
These one. But man, I
But
don't.
once you've won one, you've won Jamal.
We
Jamal.
We had a
That's
daggone-
basketball.
True that.
That's basketball.
That's 1-on-1 if they're playing together.
We had a daggone soldier for the memorial one time, dude. And that son of a gun was like that tall.
I know. Yeah.
That was a bad ass. I almost took that son of a gun home. I told Robbie Emery, dude, you going home. This thing stay with me, cuz.
I wonder how many people are having to plug their phones up right now just to keep up with us.
Yeah, no doubt,
They
man.
sitting there about to run the battery dry.
One time.
So if anybody got any questions before we close this thing out,
Well,
hit us up.
just the sponsors.
Oh yeah, hit up the
Yeah.
sponsors. We got to pay
I
the
saw
bills.
Utz, man. So are we going to
Yeah,
get some free
Utz.
chips? Because when we were at Fayetteville Motor Speedway for the big Carolina Sprint Tour, went down, and we were like the greatest sixth-place car there that weekend. But there was a dude there, and he was a potato chip
That's
sponsor
Steve.
dude.
That's Steve Laughlin. He actually went and talked to you at Lakeview about getting his son in
Yeah.
a car like your son.
Okay.
That's who's sponsoring you. Steve
Man, we
Laughlin.
busted up in there and got.
I used to
If
be
you'll
the
go back
go-karts.
and look at our show, like we're sponsored by people who's got corn
Corn.
and Martin's Eatery and Treats. Was that not good to eat?
See, we ate corn. We've ate ribs.
Danny B's
Danny
pimento
B's.
cheese.
Yeah, we're not gonna eat another hot chip.
Fox's Pizza. How was the lower unit on that hot chip?
It's bad.
That southbound lane kind of took a
Southbound,
little. Yeah,
We're
it
not
had
doing
some
that
caution.
shit again.
We got Steve with Laughlin Distribution with Utz. He's actually giving us 3,000
Yeah.
for the points.
If he gives you any free chips, hit us up.
Now, I told him we're gonna try to get him.
Yeah.
To bring as much as he can. We got Mr. Marty over there with Wins KT Automotive Products. They've decided to give us 2,000 this year towards points.
Nice.
And you got Danny Yarborough with Down South Home Improvement, which actually be running in the series.
Yeah.
He gave us 1,000.
And when you remind me of that when you get done
What's that?
about Danny
Danny
Yarborough. Yeah.
Then you got Raging Rooster, Mr. Bobby. You know, he's told me, if you need anything, just let me know, and he's gonna do like a jacket and shirts for the not hard charger, but
Rookie of the year.
yeah, Rookie of the Year. You got Southern Digital Graphics. He does all our decals, does our checks, big check, money checks. He's on decal our enclosed trailer for this year. You got Dustin Pleasanton at Explicit Designs. He's gonna do the helmet. We'll buy the helmet and he'll do the paint job.
Nice.
But you're looking at that's $1,800 helmet
Yeah.
with the paint job on it. So you got Velocity USA, Mr. Brad. He's just let me know what you need. We'll work it out. We'll work you a real good deal on those 4 suits that you want to get, and get them boys in here afterwards and get them fitted. That'll be something nice. They can go up there when they get ready. They can fit for their suits. It's just an experience. And I think the Blue Ridge did that also this past year. You got Dwayne Lee with Allstate. He's going to be doing the $50 award for the fast time at every race.
That helps.
Yeah.
That fast time. That's a good deal.
And actually, Justin Kidd messaged me before we came. He said, whatever you're getting for the fast time for the first race of Halifax, I want to add $100 to it. And, he's racing with us also.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. He actually rolled one car at Fayetteville, and they built another one.
Yeah. That was a nasty little wreck there, son.
That was the red light.
That red light. And we got Dawn from Lily Mays. She's doing a $50 award for the hard charger at every race.
Nice.
And then you got Scotty Williams of Dan Williams Roofing. As right now, he's volunteered to pay the first place money at 311. And he's told me, anytime you want to boost a race up or add money, he said, man, just give me a call and I'll send you the money.
Good stuff.
We
Good stuff.
believe in y'all.
It's good to have
and
that backbone and support.
Oh, yeah.
Really is.
And just like that's the reason I wanted to work with David Taylor at VP.
Yeah.
And Bobby Taylor Oil Company. As of right now, he's going to be supplying me with fuel, to be able to keep in the trailer, and going to supply us with tires
Cool.
to keep in the trailer. For every tire that I sell to a super street driver, he's going to add $5 to the points.
It's good.
And I talked to Mr. Ray Cook about it. You know, I've been talking to them three about the American Racer deal. You know, trying to get a cost-effective tire. This tire will be $170 a piece.
Is that the Pro 2 and 3?
No, we're actually going with the Open Competition 48.
Okay.
But he said, I'll tell you what, Brad, I'll match whatever David does. So for every tire that's sold in this series, the series will receive $10.
That's good.
That goes towards points. And he's selling me the fuel at, you know, a good price where what little bit of money we'll make off the fuel will also be able to go towards the end of the year points money.
Well, that's good if everybody
Oh, yeah.
buy from you. I mean, you know, you get you guys on board and, hey, look, I got tires and fuel. If you'll come buy from me, it'll
You
help
got,
you. Go back in your pocket.
Can't leave Mr. Kipp out. He handles, all I got to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, man, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that. He'll be like,
I want 40 dozen corn.
he's like, say more. Next thing I know, he sends me a message. Hey, yes, brother, check it out. Let me know what you think.
That's good stuff, man. And I tell you what, the backbone and support, that's the main thing of it. And let me throw in there, though, Eddie Pollard just chimed in and said Dalton Wilson just won Heat 3 at Golden Isles. Awesome. And we just had Dalton on the show last time.
Man, how awesome is that?
Dude,
That is good stuff.
how awesome is it to see a kid?
He's hot right now.
Like, literally, I watched, when I told him the other day, I said, man, I was around when you had snot in your nose. I was up there in the control tower announcing races, and he's just a little thing playing with Matchbox cars. And now look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, doing big
I
things.
remember the last race, the Cash Money 100 at Cherokee this year, man. What a phenomenal performance by that guy. I mean,
He made a move in a race about lap 18, and
it was
never
over
looked
with.
back.
It was over with, man. And, you know, and since then, you know, talking about he's hot. I mean, he's really gone on.
Yeah.
You know, since that race. And, I mean, man, congratulations to him, man. And that's Marty's boy, too, man.
Yeah.
You know, they're tight.
And we're about to have to close it out here shortly. Guys, but I did want to say, going on to the part of the Yarborough, what you were saying. Drivers, if you don't ever take nothing else from me, I want you to listen to what I got to say. And my wife never does. But it's more than sitting in the seat.
Oh, yeah.
It takes us all to make this happen. I don't care whose car the sponsorship is on. If you need a service, utilize it. Yeah. I called Eco Pest Control the other day, and they're in Mod Lights. And I said, I'm calling you because I seen your name on the side of Richie Young's race car. I go get my hair cut at Eastover Barbershop. I go get it cut over there at Cracking Skulls. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to support people who support the sport. And even what Anthony's doing and those guys, the Yarborough guys are doing, coming up for the awards banquet, I rented a limousine for all the kids to go. All the junior sprint drivers are riding in a limousine to the end of the year banquet because they're all superstars to me.
Good stuff.
And I took that out of our sponsorship money to pay for that. I even took out of our sponsorship money to buy trophies, ridiculous trophies, for these youngins because these kids are the future of the sport. But we all got to work together to make it better. And if there's something we can do to promote, hell, if you can take your car to Pizza Hut or something on a weekend, drop it, pull it out the trailer and sit there and hand out hero cards, you're going to build your race program. Use Gen 3 Performance Imaging to get hero cards. Let me throw that in there. But you're going to build your race program on top of building the sport. We were at Hooters one weekend. I feel like I'm starting to preach. We were at Hooters one weekend. Woo! We were at Hooters one weekend, and we had the cars out there, and Rick Razzlard was out there. And a guy walked outside. He retired from Fort Bragg. And he said, where do you race that car at? About 5 miles down the road. He never knew there was a Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And he retired from Fort Bragg. So it takes us all to try to build it. And, you know, if you got a little bit of extra or you got more come in, give an extra $100 to a point series or give a little bit, give a $25 pole bonus. And, guys, that's what it takes. All of us in racing have to work together to make this thing better.
Yeah,
that's what this show's all about.
He did all of our Mr. Swag over there.
Yeah.
He did all of our series shirts as far as like what me and Ryan wear.
Yeah.
Those nice, pretty shirts.
Yeah.
You can thank that man for that.
Nice.
And I tried to do
He
that.
did me a G-string for this weekend. I'm going to be hopping out on it. I'm just messing
Look
with you.
out.
I'm just, is it not Alan's birthday coming up, son?
But yeah, I did
let,
his.
let me say this. When you speak about birthday,
Yeah.
today's a very special day for RTH Racing. David Royal Crowd out of Grays Creek, North Carolina. 21 years old today. Jason Royal, that adopted boy of mine. Today is his birthday, and I promised him that on Shine Runners Racing Radio and AJ Bellinger Motorsports tonight, I would give him a shout-out. Happy birthday to Jason Royal, live from Studio by Guy 24.
Break out Elijah Craig. Let's go.
Bring it on.
Huh.
I guarantee his Uncle David's probably already gave him something if David didn't drink it all himself. But, man, happy birthday, Jason, man. I love you like you're my own kid, man. Happy birthday, brother.
Maker's Mark? I thought it was Elijah Craig. Maker's Mark. Okay, anyway.
Is there anything else, man, you got?
But anyway.
Well, like to think, like you were saying, as far as the, trying to help people that are involved in racing. Like I went to Swan for my series shirts that we wear, but, there's another fella that's always done my Punisher clutcher shirts, Sean Ward out of.
Oh, yeah. Sean's got some awesome stuff.
The main attraction.
Yes, sir.
He's one of them people, and he's just like Swan. Whenever I tell them what I want, I don't tell them exactly what I want. I just give them an idea.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, how do you want me to do this? How do you want me to do that? Just do it the way you would want it done. And when you got people that's got that kind of artistic skill, you can't just try to put them in a box.
Mm-hmm.
If you put them in that box, you're going to end up with crap. But if you let them run with it, the sky's the limit of what you'll end up with.
Yeah.
And I got to thank Swan and Sean, at the main attraction. I got to thank them because, without them guys,
anything we can do.
the racetrack wouldn't be near as pretty.
That's right.
From the neck down.
From the neck down.
By God.
Yeah, no doubt. And we definitely got to thank AJ, man. AJ Bellinger Motorsports tonight, powered here at the Studio 24. Thank you so much, AJ. If anybody would like to become a sponsor of the Shine Runners Racing Radio, we greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of different options. We can put your name out there as much as possible. And tonight we are cranked up by the 8-horsepower Briggs & Stratton generator here at East Mountain Speedway tonight, Studio 24. Anybody else got anything other than we're about to get in some more corn?
David Royal just checked in. Elijah Craig is going down right now for Jason Roy's birthday.
Elijah Craig going down.
I knew Maker's Mark. I know these guys. They're not drinking on a budget, man. Them guys got money.
That's
they're doing
right.
Elijah Craig.
Somebody's going to have some headaches tomorrow at work.
Do want to throw out there Rooster's Trivia coming up tomorrow night. Don't forget, go on Robert Rooster Kitchen's page, Robert Anthony Kitchen. We're going to have a great time on that one. It's 90s trivia, baby. Somebody's going to win some Danny B's Pimento Cheese February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The Southbound Showdown, Lakeview Speedway Junior Sprint races on Friday night. Make sure you check that out. We're going to be in Charlotte doing it up. February 10th, Bill W. is going to be in the area. Rockfish Speedway is on the loose, son. We're going to be racing at Rockfish Speedway this year, and I am so thankful to hear about it. So the savior, I called him the messiah of micro sprint racing because he is the savior of it. If it wasn't for Bill W., micro sprint racing would be dead in this area. But he saved it, man. So we're super excited about all of that. And
hey, did you have some seasoning you were going to give away tonight?
I did.
Anyway, we'll post it. We'll post it on there. We'll do like a contest or something. We might
I did. I'm sorry, but let me throw this out there. We got so deep in conversation that I forgot to give away the Raising Rooster catering seasoning. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give it to you.
Oh,
I got about 3 cases at home, so I'm just gonna give you some.
We'll cook that up. I'll cook that for us.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited. White GMC, Felton Motor Speedway, Race for Heroes, Victory Lane. Come see me. We're gonna eat it up.
We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys coming in. It's been a good show, dude.
Yes,
Anytime.
it has been a wonderful show. Saturday night, Swan. Scoop, scoop.